Hello and welcome back to the another episode of Daily News Quiz Analysis for IAS Prelims 2025. It is 8th January today, and in this video we are going to solve different types of questions which are very much relevant for your preparation. Before we'll start solving these questions, I would like to give you the brief introduction about the initiative so that if you are new to our channel, you will get more connected with it. Every day we try to upload this video on our YouTube channel and we try to discuss various types of questions in it. And if we will break these questions into different parts, it would definitely come under three subsets. Basically, most of the questions which we discuss here are taken from going to discuss questions which are taken of your topics. What we do, we take up the most important articles from the newspapers every day. We take up them, we break them down into the simplest language possible, and we derive the possible prelims based questions from those particular articles so that it will give the idea how the questions can be asked from these articles, what your approach should be when you are preparing your current affairs, which part of the newspaper is important for you. This is all what we are going to do in this video. This is what we are going to understand in this video. After discussing questions with respect to current affairs, we will shift to the another part of our discussion, to the second part of our discussion, where we will take topics. What we do every day, we try to discuss a static topic here, and we had started with Indian polity. Right now we are discussing the fundamental duties. We are discussing them clause by clause, and today we are going to discuss a topic from fundamental duty and derive the possible prelims question which can be asked from that particular topic, and give you idea how, even though the article may seem very discrete, it may seem very small, but still UPSC can ask a full question from that particular article. After discussing questions with respect to static topic and the current affairs, we shift our approach to the last part where we take up the questions directly from the previous year question book. What we do, we take up some previous year questions here. We try to discuss them, we try to find out the methods and vocabulary used by the UPSC, we try to find out the trends used by UPSC, and we try to decode them. We will try to solve these questions if we don't have the proper knowledge, and we will try to learn how to implement this knowledge in the upcoming exam. So this is all what we are going to do in this video in a nutshell. Before we will start now solving these questions, as usual, I would like to request you guys, please do note down these questions, make your own question bank. It is going to help you in million ways in clearing your exam. When your exams would be near, you would want to revise all this, you would want to revise current affairs, you would want to go through static part, you would want to go through the previous year questions, but that time does not permit you. So what will you do? You would just go through these questions. These questions would definitely connect you with the current affairs static topic, and these questions would definitely give you the analysis of previous year questions, and it will boost your confidence before entering the exam hall. So it is going to help you in a very best way possible. Now with this, I would like to request you guys, please do subscribe the channel, share it with your friends so that they may also get benefited from this initiative. And do write in the comments what else should we bring for you. This initiative is for you guys. We try our best to help you. We try our best to bring the most important and interesting topics which are relevant for your preparation. So please hit the like button, share it with your friends, and do comment what do you feel about the video. Now with this, let us start with the first question here, as today's question is also about the Unified District Information System for Education Plus, which is abbreviated as UDIS Plus. We are discussing these topics from last 1 week. We had taken many questions on this. And why we had taken this topic today? Because there was an analysis about, there was basically a discussion in the newspaper about the dropout rate in different schools. We saw that in our first discussion with respect to this report, we saw that how the school dropout, how the enrollment rate has dropped in states like Bihar and Assam. We saw that with respect to the base year taken by this report is basically 2018 and 19. So with respect to 2018 and 19, we saw that how the dropout rate has increased, or we can say the enrollment rate has decreased in the states like Bihar and Assam, and overall in India, how it has increased if we will see it in 2023 and 24. So this question was asked to the government, as this report is itself published by the government. It is the Ministry of Education which publishes this report. Ministry of Education, which you should know. About this we had discussed it in very much detail. It is the Ministry of Education which publishes. So when this question was asked to them, why there is this drop, why there is a continuous uh, decrease in the enrollment rate in Indian schools, what is the reason for that? And they gave a very peculiar answer to it. They gave a very different answer to that. They told that the methodology which was used to count the enrollment rate in 2018-19 was different than what we are using today. For example, in 2018 and 19, there was no clarity with respect to other details. They were not that much needed in the schools, first of all. Then second, identity cards were not that much issued, and this trend has changed to the highest levels in 2023-24. There are other linked, when students get admitted in this school, they have their other linking there. They have well identity cards. And what the excuse which they give why there is decrease, earlier in 2020 18-19 the enrollment rate was 26 lakh almost, and in 2023-24 the enrollment rate is to 24 lakh point something, 24 crore point something, sorry, 26 crore and 24 crore point something. So the reason they gave that in 2018 the methodology used was different. It was this system in 2018-19, it was flawed. There were some issues with that. It was highly inflated because sometimes a student shifts from one school to another school, and there was double counting in this regard. So in 2013, 23 and 24 this system has been overhauled, and there it is more accurate. It is to the data which we get through this report in 2023 and 24, it is removed from this as it is other linked, so we get the more accurate data with respect to it. So this is the reason, this is the answer they gave to the question which arises here from this report, that why the enrollment rate is why the enrollment rate is decreasing. But still, once they gave this answer, somehow it may seem good, it may seem, it may seem true, but there are still concerns there. you know if we will look at the data itself, it shows that from 2022-23 there is still the enrollment rate has still increased, if not to the crores, but also it is found that 37 lakh students enrollment rate has decreased in these years itself, in years between 2022, 23, 24. This enrollment rate has decreased. If for example, when the question was asked about 2018 and 19, they gave that the system in the 2018 and 19, it was little flawed, it was little inflammatory, so there was double counting and the numbers were not that much accurate, and it has been adjusted in 2023-24. But the question here comes that still, if we will compare the system from 2022 itself, there are 37 lakh students. The enrollment rate has decreased to 37 lakh. So what is the answer for that? And this report, UDISE plus report, it does not give answer to that. Then the second question which the author asks them here, that suppose if 2000, let's believe that 2018 and 19 system it was flawed, then why it is still the base year? Why the UDISE plus is taking it as it's still the base year? Why there is no change from the base year? Why they had not changed the base year to 2022-23? Why still 2018-19 is the base year? This is the second question which they are asking. And also the third important question which the author here raises, that in this survey which was done in 2023-24 by this UDISE plus, they had found that 15 lakh schools were assessed. But in 2023-24, in 2022-23, here I would write, in 2022 23 in 23 in 2022-23, 15 lakh schools were assessed, and it was found out that the enrollment rate was something. But in 2023-24, it has been found out that only 14 lakh something schools were assessed. So here the question comes, why there is decrease in the assessing of these schools, and this report has not given the answer. And with respect to this data, the dropout of assessing of schools, with respect to this data, the most schools which were not assessed were in JNK, Jammu and Kashmir. There was huge dropout in school assessing. Then it is UP, then it is MP. So this much data I believe you should know about this topic, and I hope what we discussed here is the basic information which you needed to know through this article which was in the newspaper. And I believe this much context is enough for this question which we are going about to solve here. So let's try to solve this question now and get more idea about this question. Here the question says, with reference to the solve this question now, as I believe that you had got the context of this question, why we discussed this, because the article was in the newspaper which raised a few questions, as this report is published by the Ministry of Education, that why this enrollment rate has decreased, and they gave the answer that the data in 2018 was a little bit inflammatory. There were double counting, as other linking was not that peculiar at that time, but in 2024 23 24 it has been done so. But then still there were a few questions which we discussed very much in detail in this discussion, and to those questions the answers were not given by this report. So with this, let's try to solve this question and get more idea about it. Here the question says, the gross enrollment ratio at the primary level has shown a consistent increase over the past 5 years. Totally incorrect, because we are seeing that the gross enrollment ratio has totally decreased. It is very much fluctuating. It is not consistent decreasing, neither it is consistently increasing. It is fluctuating, something like that. So if any statement related to this shows, and in statement there is a word consistent, then always with respect to this report mark it incorrect. So with respect to this question, the first statement is incorrect. Second statement, the gender parity index in a secondary education indicates a widening gap between male and female enrollment. It is very general, totally incorrect, because if you have basic knowledge of the present scenarios, this gender parity index is in secondary education indicates not widening, it is closing gap between male and female enrollment. So second statement is also incorrect. Third statement, there has been a significant improvement in the availability of the basic infrastructure like toilets and drinking water facilities in schools across India. 100% correct. From last 5 years, there has been the improvement over this. Even though there are still schools which we discussed in our previous class, that how there are few schools where where the availability of electricity is a problem. In some schools, in some places there is the availability of toilets, but still it has improved from last 5 years. So with respect to this question, the correct statement is option 3 only, and from the code given below, the correct code would be option B. With this, I hope you had understood this question, you had understood the topic itself, you had understood the context itself. Now with this, let's move to the another question and try to solve that. It is about this question, today's question, where the second question which we are about to discuss is about the Shigatse region of Tibet. Why we are discussing this question, because there was an earthquake of the magnitude 7.2, I guess 7.1 or 7.2, something between that, and it was felt, and it has caused huge damage in this particular region, because it was the epicenter of this earthquake. And few shocks were even felt in Kolkata, also in India, Kolkata. And it has impacted India, Nepal, Bhutan. These, basically it has impacted, this earthquake has impacted Bhutan and Nepal too. And I felt it is very important for us to understand this Shigatse region. Why? First of all, the earthquake, and second, we discussed about Medong Dam, which is the problematic to which India and Bangladesh are raising their voices, especially India, because it has the strategical importance, it has the ecological importance, it could harm the ecology there. And also, this dam is going to be very much near to this region. And as we know, this region is prone to earthquakes, and it is the gravity dam. It is going to impact the lower riparian states like India, and it will have huge impact on India too. It can be China can weaponize it against India, and also nature can go against India with respect to this dam in this region, because this is very much in this seismic zone area. So with respect to this, we need to know about this Shigatse region of Tibet. Let us see about it. First of all, the first statement, the Shigatse region of Tibet is characterized by first containing Mount Everest, the world's highest peak. One, yes, 100% true. There is a gateway for the Mount Everest. This zone, this region contains this, it is 100% correct. Second statement, being strategically located along the Yarlung Sangpo River, Brahmaputra, and its tributaries, 100% correct. It is located along the Yarlung Sangpo River, which is called as Brahmaputra in India, and its tributaries, 100% correct. Nothing wrong with this statement. Two. Third, sharing international borders with India and Bhutan and Nepal. No, it does not share international border with Nepal. It shares borders with India and Bhutan. So with respect to this question, third statement is totally incorrect. But this earthquake was felt in these particular countries. So to this question, the correct statement is statement 1 and statement 2 only. The correct option would be option C. Why we had discussed this question? Because of the earthquake, the system, as it was the focal point of the earthquake, epicenter of the earthquake was in this region. So with this, and also the Midong dam, which China is building on this, in which they had spent $137 billion over the construction of that dam, and that is the gravity dam, and it has very much concerns for Indian ecosystem there, and it can impact India in all the way, in all negative way possible. So with this, let's move to the another question and try to understand that. Here the question is about the accelerated degree program which the UGC has brought in. Actually UGC did little reforms, and they discussed about the accelerated UGC. They discussed about accelerated degree programs, and they discussed about the another one is extended degree program. They had brought up the accelerated degree program and extended degree program. So why we are discussing question with respect to accelerated degree program? Because there was an article in the newspaper which criticized this approach of the UGC. According to them, that UGC has not done a proper study. If I will speak in layman's language here, according to them, the UGC had not done a proper study with respect to bringing such programs. Before we will go through the negative impacts of them, let's try to understand what these programs are about. For example, I would talk about myself. I had done my BTech in 2014 to 2018. In 2018, I completed my BTech. So BTech, the course usually 4 years. It takes 4 years to complete your BTech. So what UGC has brought in here, that why it is compulsory for every student. I'm talking here with respect to a degree, as my degree is in BTech. That's why I'm taking it as an example. So you can take example of yours degree. So UGC is saying here that why does every student need to clear their BTech in 4 years? So they brought up this plan, and one is accelerated degree program, that if any student is capable to do this in 2 years, they should be allowed to do this in 2 years. If they are so much mature mentally, they can pick up that quickly. They should be allowed to do that. There should be a program which would contain all those subjects which a student is usually studying in 4 years. Those students should be allowed to take all those subjects and complete this BTech degree in 2 years only, or 3 years only. So this is the proper explanation of the accelerated degree program. Why take 4 years if you can do it in 2 or 3 years? Then the extended degree program, it is different. For example, there is a student who wants to do research, or someone is slow learner. Why should he be bound to complete his degree in 4 years? Let him take his time. Let him complete his degree in 5 years, 6 years, how much he wants to take, he can take it. It is up to him. He would take few subjects for a year, and he will complete it in this way. So this is what in nutshell the UGC had brought in. This is accelerated degree program and the extended degree program. If you will ask personally to me, do you have any problem with this? Trust me, I don't have any problem with that. But you know, as you being the IAS aspirant, you have to understand the both sides of the argument. Here the author raises few questions, challenges to it. You know, author says, you know, when there are such programs in, for example, you are talking about BTech, you can do BTech in 3 years, you can do BTech in 4 years, and you can do BTech in 6 years. Which one a student will choose? Student will definitely go for the 3 years program. Once he will go for the 3 years or 2 years program, what would be his depth of knowledge? Will he be able to will he able to achieve everything in these 2 years what a student achieves in 4 years? Will his depth of knowledge would be same? This is the question which the author here raises. Second, he talks about the syllabus. What should be the syllabus for the student for for clearing this degree program in 2 years? Will he be able to do it? Will what how this syllabus will be framed? There would be a lot of burden on framing the syllabus for 2 years program, for 4 years program, and for 6 years program. Had UGC taken consideration of the syllabus formation for such programs, you know, if this question, if I will think over this, you know, I to me, you know, they can shrink the syllabus, they can add more books in 1 year. For example, when I was doing my BTech, it was very much compulsory for us in a semester to take 8 subjects. So they can increase it to 16 subjects, but this is all what they have to study. But here the author raises this question: how the syllabus will be maintained? Will there be different syllabus for 2 years program? Will there be different syllabus for 4 years program? Will there be different syllabus for 6 years program? I believe what the author here forgets, that syllabus is particular to subject, and when there is particular, you know, you have to, when you are doing your BTech, you have to clear few subjects which are very much core in nature. So these subjects are very core. Whether you will take, you know, I'm very much in favor of this program which has been brought by the UGC. To me, what I will answer to it, that if you are able to complete all the subjects, all the core subjects in a 1 year, if you have this capability, then what is wrong in doing this? So here the author raises the question of the syllabus. So this is what he contradicts with it. Then the third, he says, what would be the outcome of it? You know, for example, a student is taking his course, he is doing his course in 2 years. What would be the outcome of it? What would be the value of it? Will he be as learned as a student who is taking 4 years? So it is the another question he talks about. Then the fourth question which the author raises here is about the, suppose for example you are doing BA honors, you are doing something else. For those subjects you may somehow understand that it is much theoretical, you can increase your depth of knowledge by reading more books. But when it is technical like BTech, how you can accommodate that? How would you apply to it? Because you have different courses, you have practicals, you have all that stuff, you have internships. How would you accommodate that? And this is the real concern which I personally believe, that when you are in BTech, you have, when I was in BTech, I have in 4 years I have to do 2 internship at least. In how would that accommodate, how would I accommodate that? And that is the real concern. I have to do 2 internships, I have to do 2 projects for that. So how will I accommodate, how will the UGC accommodate? That would be the real question. And also, what about the financial burden? For example, there is some student who would go for the 6 years program, and he is slow learner, and he would be, suppose he has to for example, he is paying every year 1 lakh rupees. For the 4 years he used to pay 4 lakh, now he has to pay 6 lakh for 6 years. So that is also a concern. But to me it is not that concern. Why would he go for the 6 years program? You know, even if he has he has financial liabilities, he can do it in 4 years. That is his problem. That is what he would do, he would prefer. And he would definitely prefer to complete it in 2 years. Suppose he's in, you know, in, suppose he is doing it for some project, he is doing it for research, then there would be the concern of the finances. And these are some issues which were raised by the author with respect to the UGC's new developments with respect to accelerated degree program and the expanded degree program. So here I hope you had got the context of this question. Now let's try to solve this question and get more idea about it. Here the question says, accelerated degree program are often designed to first cater to working professionals seeking to upskill or change careers. 100% correct. For example, I am right now, I am making these videos, and if I know that I can do, for example, I was, to be honest, it was my passion to be a lawyer when I was in class 11th and 12th. But in our country, we believe in go with the flow. Everybody was going for the btech, so I was also told to go for the btech. Or if what was your passion, keep that aside. So if right now I want to do the if I right now if I would want to go for the llb course, and I know it would take 5 years for me, but if such program is there where I can do it in 2 to 3 years, then it would ease my tension there. I can go for that, so it would help me. It would cater to working professionals seeking to upskill or change careers. 100% correct. Nothing wrong with this statement. Second statement, provide opportunities for students to graduate early and enter the workforce sooner. 100% correct. There are families who are very much dependent on their children because they give them education so that they can earn. And they have to wait for these years first to do their BTech, then go for the masters, or do their honors, then go for the masters. So if and it is very much time consuming, there is huge burden on the family, and once such burden is on the child, he gets depressed. Even if suppose he is able to complete this course in 2 years, he will be easily available for the workforce sooner. So this statement is also correct. Nothing wrong with this statement either. Then this third statement, offer a more flexible learning schedule for students with personal or family commitments. 100% correct. It offers this flexibility too. So with respect to this question, all the three statements are correct. So with this, I hope you had got the basic idea why we had brought this question, and also you had got the idea about this question itself. Now with this, let's move to the another question and see what we had brought today. Here it is about the primary function of interoperable sonobias. Is what is this here? Why we had brought this question? Because it is India and US who are going to join, who are jointly going to manufacture interoperable sonobias for Navy. So let's try to find out what it is about. The very little article. Let's try to know what it is about, and the companies which are involved in it. From US it is Ultramarine, and from India it is Bharat Dynamics Limited, which are involved in this collaboration, who are going to build this interoperable sonobias. So here we will try to find out what is its major function. First, jam. Its primary function is to jam enemy radar signals. No. Detect and track underwater vessels. 100% correct. It would help in detect and track underwater vessels, especially submarines. When enemy submarines are in your waters, it will help you to detect their signals, to detect those submarines, and it will help you track those submarines. So with respect to this question, the correct statement is option B. So with this, let's move to the last question of today's discussion from the current affairs. So it is about Paravasi Bhartiya Divas is celebrated since it is this year celebrated in Odisha. Its celebration has begun. Basically, its celebration starts from the 9th January, from the 9th Jan itself. But this year it started this year only, and usually it used to be it used to be once in 2 years. Now it has been celebrated every year. So let's try to understand about Paravasi Bhartiya Divas is celebrated to commemorate the return of Mahatma Gandhi from South Africa to India. 100% correct. It was 9th Jan 1915. Please remember this date. So this statement is correct. Second, recognize the contribution. Its purpose is to recognize the contribution of the Indian diaspora to the development of India. 100% correct. Third, promote cultural exchange between India and its diaspora. 100% correct. So with respect to this question, the correct statement would be option D. So with this, we complete today's questions from the current affairs section. We every day we try to bring in the important articles from the newspapers. We try to not repeat the questions. We try to not repeat the discussion, because it is not more than a waste of time if we would repeat every day the same topic. But sometimes there is something interesting point in the topic that we are forced to repeat that. Now with this, let's move to the another section of our discussion where we will discuss few static questions. In fact, a static question. Here the question is about the Article 51A clause I encompasses which of the following two distinct duties. You know, right now, if you would have followed me at least from this one month, you would definitely know that we are discussing the fundamental duties right now, and we are discussing them clause by clause. And about fundamental duties, they are not enforceable. One thing you should know, they are not enforceable. Second, they were not the part of the initial constitution. Third, they were introduced by the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act. Fifth point about it, it was Sovereign Singh Committee. These are some static points about it. Sovereign Singh Committee, which recommended that this should be in our constitution. And sixth point, we got inspired from USS. Or this in general about fundamental duties, which you should know. Now here, as we are discussing the clause I today, we have to discuss clause I today. Let us see what does it say. Let us see what does the clause I say. Basically, here from this question we will try to understand what does it say. Article 51 I encompasses which of the following two distinct duties: safeguarding public property, 100% correct; adjourning violence, 100% correct. So this Article 51 I says to safeguard public property and to abjure violence. This is the basic fundamental duty in Article 51 subclause I. So this is what we get from this article, from this clause I. So third statement, promoting international peace and security, no, even though it is the fundamental duty, but not under this. Defending the country and rendering national service, neither it. So with respect to this question, the correct statement would be option 1 and option 2 only. So with this, we completed discussion with respect to this static topic also. Now let us shift our approach towards the last question of today's discussion, which is basically about the which is basically about which is basically from the previous years, from the physical geography, as we are discussing that right now. Here today's question, it was asked in 2000, in the year 2000 itself. So you can see how the trend was at that time, how they used to ask the questions. Here the question says, which one of the following weather conditions is indicated by a sudden fall in barometer reading? So here are the weather conditions. Which of them is indicated by the sudden fall in barometer reading? What would be the correct answer? It is option A. It is the stormy weather condition which is indicated by a sudden fall in barometer reading. So with this, here we need to know about these weather conditions, how the barometer reacts to them. We need to know what are the countries which face such weather conditions. We need to know all about them. That's why we discuss these questions here. So with this, we complete today's discussion. I hope you would like the video. I hope you would share it with your friends, and I definitely hope you would subscribe the channel. Thank you for staying with me. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.